Why rent rolls don't always match your collections. And the direct takeaway here is if you're underwriting based on the rent roll alone, you're already at risk of overpaying. And in commercial real estate, the rent roll shows what should be collected, but collections show what's actually coming in. And the gap between the two is where deals either make money or fall apart. So, what is the rent roll and how can it mislead people? So, the rent roll is really just a snapshot of the activity on a multi-tenant building, where it shows the lease rates, tenant names, lease terms, and the scheduled monthly income. It's pro forma income and not verified cash flow. And the problem is it assumes 100% tenant compliance, and that's not always the case. So what are collections? Collections represent the actual rents received, the timing of payments, any delinquencies, any partial payments, and any write-offs. And this is the real NOI, not the theoretical NOI. And in CRE, NOI drives value and not projections. So why the gap exists and the real reasons here. One is delinquent tenants. Tenants can fall behind, especially in retail, office, and small business heavy properties. So if you have rent roll of $100,000 a month, but you only have collections of $82,000 a month, that's an 18% gap, and that's a valuation risk. Two, there could be free rent and concessions. So landlords can often offer 1 to 6 months of free rent, TI allowances to build out the space, or reduced initial lease rates while you're ramping up. So the rent roll may show the full rents, but the collections reflect the discounted reality. Three is lease structures versus reality. And not all leases are equal. You have gross leases and triple net leases. You have expense reimbursements. And you also have CAM recovery caps. And if tenants aren't fully reimbursing collections, the collections can lag behind expectations. Four, there could be bad debt and write-offs. And some tenants never pay. And then you have to evict, or they could file bankruptcy, or they have an abandoned space. And then you have an abandoned space. But these really rarely show up clearly in a rent roll, but they will hit your collections hard is the point. Five, there's timing issues. Even strong tenants are going to pay late sometimes. Life happens. Rent roll equals what is billed. Collections equals what is received. And for lenders, timing matters just as much as the total income. So why this matters for investors? And here's the reality. A property is only worth what it collects and not what it's supposed to collect. And if you underwrite incorrectly, you could be overestimating the NOI. You could be compressing your cap rate artificially. And what that means is you're going to end up overpaying for that asset. So here's an example, and it's simple but powerful. You have a rent roll income of $1.2 million, but your only collections are right at $1 million even. And a 6% cap rate for the property, let's illustrate the valuation difference. So on the first one, it's a $20 million valuation. On the second, it's 16.67. And that's a $3.3 million pricing mistake between the two options. So what lenders actually look at, lenders don't trust rent rolls. They're going to verify them. So you have trailing 12-month or T12 financials. You have bank statements, you have an aged receivable report, and you have lease audits. Because from a lending standpoint, debt service coverage ratio, DSCR, is based on collected income and not on projected income. So how smart investors protect themselves here? And if you want to stay on the right side of this, here's some ideas. One, always request a T12. This is not optional. This is a baseline statement. Two, compare rent roll versus collections, line by line, and look for discrepancies, particularly by the problem tenants. Three, review aged receivable. Who's behind, how long, and what are we going to do? Four, normalize NOI. Back out your concessions, your bad debt, and one-time anomalies. Five is underwrite like a lender, because lenders are already stress testing your deal. Final thought here is that rent rolls sell the story and collections tell the truth. So if you're buying based on the story, you're speculating. And if you're buying based on collections, you're investing. That, my friends, is it for the day. Please visit HoustonRealEstateBrokerage.com. You can schedule a consultation there. I'd love to have a one-on-one conversation with you to see how we can improve your world. Have a good day.